Liv Morgan is continuing to hint at some major things on Raw, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out what's new for Bayley, Rhea Ripley, and much more. Starting things off with a pretty serious conversation surrounding Bayley and what appears to be continued disrespect from the WWE graphic department. Ever since the beginning of the year, when Bayley first won the Royal Rumble, it felt like her accomplishments were being heavily overlooked in every single way within the company's promotional material. Bayley put on a historic performance at the Royal Rumble, won the whole Royal Rumble, but was barely acknowledged for the big win. Cody Rhodes was getting a lot of praise for winning the Men's Royal Rumble, and they made sure you were always aware that he won the Royal Rumble in back-to-back years. But with Bayley, it felt like her Royal Rumble win wasn't really pushed and advertised as much. The conversation continued with the WrestleMania 40 press conference, where WWE had Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Becky Lynch all there at the press conference to represent the women's division. But Bayley, the actual winner of the Royal Rumble and someone who had a title match booked at WrestleMania 40, was nowhere to be found at the press conference to make an appearance. This strange level of disrespect continued with the basic advertisements and promotional material for WrestleMania 40. Bayley was nowhere to be found on any of those WrestleMania graphics, despite her being the Royal Rumble winner and involved in a WWE women's title match. Fans thought that surely whatever was going on would come to an end after Bayley became the WWE Women's Champion. But oddly enough, the same issue is continuing to happen to Bayley, even as the reigning and defending Women's Champion. WWE just released the first official poster for their upcoming King and Queen of the Ring premium live event, and the poster features Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch. But once again, no signs of Bayley's render image on this new official poster. They have the WWE Champion on there, both mid-card titles, the Women's World title, even the Women's Tag Team Champions on there, but no Bayley at all. So this issue has been going on for a majority of Bayley's career, but fans are starting to become outraged and stunned because she continues to be disrespected even after the year she had so far, and being the reigning champion. No one knows what the issue is here, if they just don't think she's worthy enough to go on these posters. If someone in the graphics department just has it out for her, no one knows. But it's a situation that more and more fans are starting to pick up on because the level of disrespect towards Bayley has been there all year long. And fans just want to know, what's it going to take for her to make it onto some of these official event posters? Because winning the Royal Rumble and winning a world title at WrestleMania still wasn't enough for her face to be featured on major promotional material. So it's a weird issue that's going on for Bayley, but hopefully someone takes notice of the situation and they start to feature her the way she deserves to be featured, like all the other big stars and champions. Let's get into the situation with Liv Morgan because a lot of her stories advanced in big ways. Starting things off with her storyline with Dominik. So to recap so far, they had Dominik and Liv Morgan meeting face to face on camera to start that angle off. Then the following week, we saw Dominik and Liv exiting the same room backstage. So how did that story continue in week 3? Well, there was no actual televised continuation this week, but the angle did continue via a small Easter egg detail in Liv's attire. If you look very closely at the left side pocket of Liv's bottoms, you'll see a very small peak of a purple bandana, the same exact ones that Dominik Mysterio is known to wear. So even without an actual segment between Dominik and Liv, this bandana Easter egg does add a lot of context and questions to what's going on there between the two of them. And there's mostly two routes to take this in. The obvious one being that whatever happened in the backstage room from a few weeks ago between Dominik and Liv, it ended with Liv gaining possession of Dominik's bandana. Or on the other hand, maybe Dominik didn't give it to her, but Liv purchased a similar one on her own, so that Rhea Ripley can see it in her pocket and mess with Rhea's head. That's really the only two paths here, but no matter which one is true, it still makes Liv Morgan look like a genius troll. She knows what having that purple bandana on her body alludes to, and she wants to have it on full display to get inside Rhea Ripley's head. Rhea isn't there backstage on Raw in person, So Liv can allude to all these different things, and Rhea can't really fact check any of it. So Liv wants to drive her insane. But considering the nature of this storyline and the fact that we know for sure they were together backstage, it's safe to assume that Liv didn't buy a similar one. That specific one came from Dominik in some sort of way. Whether or not he gave it to her or Liv stole it from him on her own, it still sends the perfect message to Rhea Ripley either way. And there's nothing Rhea can really do about it sitting at home, recovering from her injuries. And to add the extra dagger to everything, Liv Morgan took backstage pictures with the purple bandana while standing in front of a WWE production truck that had Rhea Ripley's face on it. So Liv is definitely adding a lot of detail to these silent shots she's throwing at Rhea. So there's 3 weeks in a row of Liv and Dominik's relationship growing in quiet and secretive ways. We should definitely see some more interactions between the both of them in the coming weeks, or maybe even more situations like this one of Liv having some of Dominik's belongings. As far as things go with Liv Morgan in the ring, it looks like Liv will be in fact the first challenger of Becky Lynch's reign as Women's World Champion. They exchanged some words on the May 6th edition of Raw, and it really looks like that match is most likely to happen in a few weeks at the King and Queen of the Ring event. Liv Morgan is also continuing to show a lot of heel tendencies as well, like with this edition of Raw right here. Becky and Liv were surrounded by damage control while being back-to-back, but instead of helping Becky fight them off, Liv ran out of the ring, saying that it's not her problem to deal with. So that's definitely the biggest sign right there that Liv is transitioning to be a heel. She took out pretty much a babyface Rhea Ripley, she's stealing Dominik away, and she left Becky Lynch all alone to get fed to the wolves. All these heel things, but it still seems like Liv is more of a tweener for the time being. We'll have to wait and see if there'll be another big moment coming for Liv Morgan that'll officially turn her into a full heel. Another good theory floating around right now is that Liv Morgan will probably win the Women's World title in the future, once she fully turns heel, and maybe a bit more closer to Rhea Ripley's return as well. It looks like, given the angle they're going with, it would make a lot of sense for Rhea Ripley to come back to face a fully heel Liv Morgan, who has Rhea's championship and Dominik as well. That sets up a pretty intense and massive return feud for Rhea Ripley. So that's what's making fans believe that Liv will be successful in getting the title and Dominik. And assuming that Dominik does fully go with Liv Morgan behind Rhea Ripley's back, it looks like that would be the official end of Dominik and Rhea, and quite possibly the end to Rhea's entire time in the Judgment Day as well, as she'll continue on her own as a babyface. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys!